Hey everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Sal and Gabi Break the Universe by Carlos Hernandez. And I got this from NetGalley.
I think NetGalley.
Probably. I mean, we usually get it from the same place.
Well, it's Disney, and I'm auto-approved by Disney on NetGalley.
Well, there it is.
So.
Okay. Anyway, so this book is about Sal and his family who have recently moved to Florida after he caused a terrible rip in the universe by pulling his dead mother from another universe in their previous home in Connecticut. He doesn't know how he can make things appear and disappear from other universes, but he knows that he has to find a way to control it because it could cause the end of our universe as we know it. Sal is also having trouble fitting in his new school because he's type 1 diabetic, and that means that he needs to eat at certain times, like in the middle of gym class. And the teachers and the students are still kind of learning about just these differences that they need to make exceptions for. Also, Sal has attracted the attention of the local bully, Yasmani,
I think, yeah.
And when he uses his magical skills and abilities to cross universes, Sal is labeled as a scary sorcerer by his classmates. Sal is desperate to just be known for his regular magic tricks, not sorcery. His abilities catch the notice of fellow classmate Gabi, who has it all together, is a perfect student, and the class president. As they begin working together, Sal finds out that Gabi's new baby brother is in the NICU, and they might have to use his universe abilities to help out. And that's what we've got going on with this one.
I found this book very frustrating.
I liked it. I think that the setting needed to be addressed and just needed better development.
So, the thing is, I loved the fact that there was all this about their Cuban heritage, because you just don't see that. And I read that book, I think it's called Annalise in Real Life, and she was Cuban, and it's like this incredible culture, and I want to learn more about that. So I love that. I love that Sal was type 1 diabetes. Had type 1 diabetes. You never see that, and it's very realistic. Like, they talk about, like, he has to eat now, and he's checking his blood sugar, and there's, like, he goes out to breakfast at one point, and he does his blood sugar before he eats. All of this is very realistic. I think that's great, because there's a lot of kids who have type 1 diabetes who are going to love having a fantasy book about that. And I even liked there's a side storyline a little bit about, like, a kid who has issues at home. I don't want to go into it. I liked the way that was done. I did not get the fantasy part of it, and I feel like the whole rips in the universe felt almost like an afterthought.
Well, I guess I just didn't have a firm understanding of what Sal's universe was. And they keep referring back to kind of this background information and things that had happened in his previous home in Connecticut. And to me, they should have started there. Like, that should have been the first book, because there you can really talk about how he discovers this power. And they talk about Calmatrons. Well, how do they know about this stuff? Like, how do they know any of that? Also, in this world, you've got self-driving cars that talk to you. So, like, why
do we have this?
Like, how does their world function different? Are we set in another universe? I think that we must. I mean, obviously we must be. I don't think is it set in the future, or is it set in another universe? Like, that's what I don't understand. And I think that could have been addressed had you started it in a different book.
Well, you could even have just done better flashbacks, because like he's got a stepmom, and like I think that they explained that aspect of it well. Just in the flash.
I loved the stepmom and the dad,
and that was such a positive. Like, too, that's the thing. There's so many positives in this book, because like he calls her American stepmom, but because she told him to call her that, because she's like, I'm not trying to take your mom's place, and you don't see that. You don't see the positive stepmom. You don't see the dad. Like, his dad hugs him and like kisses him and loves him. And you don't see that. And so there's all of this stuff that you don't see that's so great. And then you get to the science part, which is like, I don't understand the rips in the universe. I don't understand any of that.
And I don't understand how they know about it.
Right. And then, so I just, like, to me, I was, like, skipping over a lot of that stuff. And like you said, the school is great. They go to this big, like, performing arts school, and he wants to be a magician, and that's cool.
Well, and then they do, like, costume work, and every man plays. Like, that's fascinating, and the mask work that they do is fascinating. I think that the friendship between the three main characters is awesome and interesting, and I love how it develops and grows. I even think while it wasn't described very well, Gabi has various dads.
I didn't
They don't talk about
that,
but it was kind of fun and interesting and strange, and I want to know more about it.
I liked the concept, this idea that you build your family and all these people are helping and loving you.
And it's
but
sweet.
I didn't get what they were saying with it. So I feel like if they had explained it better, I would have loved that. That's the problem. Like, talking about it, it almost should have been a realistic fiction book about this boy who moves to this new town and starts the school without the fantasy science fiction stuff. I don't understand. I'm so confused by it.
Well, and his voice is so well done, too. Like, the things that he says, I hear from the teens in my library all the time.
So, yeah,
like,
that's...
it's a not a grown-up book, but
it's middle grade.
It's definitely a bridge between the kid book and the teen book. Like, it's
solidly middle grade.
It's like a grown-up version of growing up version of fantasy.
So that's why I find it so frustrating, because to me, like, there was so much that was so good, but what should have been the crux of the book, I just didn't get.
Yeah. God, because he was so smart, too. Like, the things that Sal would say
were
hilarious.
Well, and that was the thing. Sal was smart. Like, he was a smart kid. Gabi was a super smart kid. These are kids that were smart and, like, they were respectful. And, like, Gabi wants to achieve.
Yeah.
I mean, and I see these kids every so often. So honestly, and the more I talk about it, I kind of wish that they had just written a realistic fiction book about Sal moving to this school and about his family and about connecting with Gabi and, like, everything, and just kept the fantasy part out of it, because when I think about it, the fantasy part was the part where I was like,
I can agree with that.
We should rate it then.
All right, so our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we didn't like it, it doesn't get a horn and is therefore a horse. Where are you?
I'm going with a 3 for all the things I said were positive, but it could have been a 5.
I know, because, like, I want to give it a 4. But I think, before we started talking about it, I was, like, a solid 3. But I think I'm going to give it a 4 because I'm going to read the next book. I did enjoy the characters. And I'm hoping that the fantasy will get kind of ironed through.
So that is where we are on Sal and Gabi Break the Universe. See you around.
See ya.
Bye.